5 minutes.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك اهدنا الصراط المستقيم اهدنا الصراط المستقيم اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم فصل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. When I arrived here from Stansted, I was received by one of the brothers, a very, very generous human being. And we were talking along the way, and one of the questions were what did you find he wanted to, in fact, to benefit from, maybe from my point of view about this prophetic path. And I gave him, in fact, one answer, right? But in fact, these last 3 days, I've been thinking myself. And the more I think, the more fruits I discover of this lofty prophetic path tree. So from today, along these 10 days, I will be more than happy, in fact, to share with my brothers each time one or two of those fruits. So one of those fruits is freedom. You may say that, in fact, all people are free to do whatever they would like to do. Yes, that's right, but that's the sort of freedom which people may share with other, in fact, just like with animals. If an animal has got a certain urge to do anything, it goes, and in fact, it does that, whatever, in fact, the urge says. But for human beings, in fact, whenever there is a stimulus, just like the stimulus and the response are just like my two hands, right? And then, as a human being, you should intervene and quickly between the stimulus and the response. Otherwise, if you don't, in fact, the response, the natural response that any human being or that any animal may come up with. So I'll give the example of Joseph, peace be upon him, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Yusuf alayhi salam, with Zulaykha in that room. She was a stimulus to him, and he was a stimulus for her. But the big difference is that he intervened and quickly between the stimulus and the response, and then he created a space between the stimulus and the response. And it is in that space you create between the stimulus and the response where your freedom and mine resides or lies as human beings. And this is, brothers and dear viewers, this is what distinguishes people from animals, right? This is, so many people, in fact, they blame the circumstances, they blame the other, they blame so many other things, but in fact, they only have themselves to blame. This concept of determinism was started, in fact, by someone called Pavlov, and he used to ring a bell before giving dogs to eat, before giving food to dogs. And then at a certain time, dogs started salivating even before, with the ring, not with the food coming. And then he concluded that this is, in fact, that all beings are determined, sort of, by stimulus, and then after the stimulus comes the response. But he forgot that we are human beings, not dogs. So the very first thing that, in fact, this beautiful prophetic path gave me is that it set me free. It set me free from conditions, from determinism, from the other, from in fact coming up with inappropriate responses. In fact, and there is a 30-day, there is this prophetic path, in fact, it presents a 30-day test where seekers, in fact, they work their way they work their way towards the pleasure of Allah by ticks and crosses. And between these ticks and crosses, in fact, your freedom and mine lies. If you intervene and quickly between the stimulus, then that space, the more you intervene, the more that space becomes bigger and bigger, and the more you set yourself free, because that's where your freedom lies, until you become completely free human being. This is one of the fruits. Inshallah, other fruits will be in fact underway, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.